Hello, National Baptist Chaplains. As you gather this week for some very, very important training, I want to say thank you to each of you for what you do for God and country. But before I get ahead of myself, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our church leadership. And I want to say to our president, Dr. Kimber, greetings from the United States Army here in the Pentagon. And then also to our esteemed endorser, Dr. William Wine. Dr. Wine, thank you very much for the invitation to take a few moments to say some words that might be helpful along the way as our chaplains navigate many different spaces, if you will, in order to provide religious support to their constituents. Before I get to that, I'd like to just say, really, it's been an honor and a privilege to serve in the United States Army. I've been doing that now for over 30 some odd years. And unfortunately, I cannot be there with you this week because we're traveling to Joint Base Lewis McChord. And then after that, we'll be going overseas. And so I did want to honor the request by Dr. Wine to just take a few moments to talk about the importance of chaplaincy and what we bring to the table as men and women who are practicing our faith but living out our call. And so the first thing I'd like to do is just address the significance of being a chaplain. And when I talk about the significance of being a chaplain, it is all rooted in the sense of calling. I like to say that nothing is more important than that. It all starts with the call. And it is from that sense of calling that each of us seek our God to determine what it is that we should be doing to live that call out. So for chaplains, that can happen in various places, right? It can happen, of course, in a hospital. It can happen in the military. In some other type of institution or in the corporate world. It can happen in various places, as you all know. But I think probably the most important thing that we bring when we function in those spaces is that it's important for us to own the space. And what do I mean by own the space? I have had the opportunity when I was training to be a chaplain in the hospital to participate in emergency room operations. And one of the things that was always enlightening and somewhat comfortable and also sometimes a little bit scary was the fact that the doctors, the nurses, and everybody in that operating room or in that emergency room understood that the chaplain had a space that he or she owned. And for me, that space was at the head of the bed as they were operating on someone that might be conscious or unconscious or just going through a very, very difficult time. So one of the things I want to encourage you to do is to own the space. And when I talk about owning the space, it's not necessarily being invited into the space. It's really about knowing your place there and your importance in that particular space. Oftentimes, if you don't step into that arena or into that space, people will wonder why. Why is the chaplain either standing in the background or maybe somewhere else when he or she should be in the space? Now, the key in all of this is not to necessarily get in the way, so to speak. And I would think that that applies more to when a person's operating in an operating room or at least providing pastoral care and support in an operating room. But the key is to not think that you're in the way. You're not in the way. Regardless of which type of ministry you're providing, it could be on the battlefield. It could be in a prison. It could be in a hospital, or it could be in a corporate space. The important thing to remember is that we are there to provide compassion, hope, love, and religious support and spiritual support to the constituents in that space. And in many cases, they expect that of us. And so I just wanted to take a few moments at the request of Dr. Wine to address that, because I think it's so important. I had a conversation a couple days ago, and really the crux of that conversation, or at least the focus of that conversation, constantly came back to us as chaplains owning the space, regardless of your rank or your position or what have you. What I like about the military is we're chaplain first, and then we focus on the rank. But owning the space, most people that you encounter will want you to own it because they know what you bring, and a lot of them will also respect it. So my encouragement to each of you as you participate in training and begin to think even more deeply about who you are and your sense of calling is to remember that you don't have to ask to operate in a space. If you're a chaplain in an organization, in most cases, you are probably wearing a symbol on your uniform or maybe a collar or something along those lines that everybody already identifies with. The key now is just to step into the space and own it. Be that man or that woman of God that you are called to be, to provide care and compassion to those around you. And if you're in an institution, one of the things I want to encourage you to think about is that sometimes it's good to circle back and check on the doctors and check on the nurses and check on the staff as they deal with very, very challenging situations and may not know how to address them. You are there to provide care for them. So own that space. Well, it's been an honor taking a few minutes to talk to you. And I want to encourage you to continue to live the call. Nothing is more important than that. When it's all said and done, our calling is the way that we serve our God and we honor his people. And so I'm thankful for an opportunity to be a chaplain. In the end, that's more important to me than anything else that comes with what I do and with where I sit. I am a United States Army chaplain. And perhaps there are others of you that are chaplains from other services in the room, or you may be an institutional chaplain. I'm glad to lock arms with you, to serve with you, and also to represent you in the space that I own today. God's grace and blessings to you. May the training go exceedingly well. And when you leave there, I hope that you are encouraged and feel uplifted so that you can continue to do the great things that you do. In the Army, we like to say, live the call. God's grace and blessings to you. Live the call. Own the space. Thank you.